Hello and welcome back to Ganesh Institute channel. So in today's video we are going to discuss about intentional fallacy. So it lies under MEG 5 section of English. Anyways, about intentional fallacy, if you talk about fallacy, what is it? A fact which can have some negative implications or which can be falsified, right? Or the presumption which we are thinking that it is a fact but we may be wrong. So there is a topic, intentional fallacy. It was introduced in the essay which was first published in 1946. Basically it was an essay which was published in 1946. So what is it basically? So let's see. So intentional fallacy is having intention, right? So whenever we talk about poetry, artist, so all these have artistic intention. Okay. So artistic intention is what? It is a kind of a design or plan in the artist's mind and the author's attitude towards his work, the way he or she felt, and what made him or her write. Okay, so intention means those feelings through which he or she is making design or plan. Okay, now basically, in order to understand what is fallacy, that means falsified fact, or what we were thinking earlier is wrong actually. In order to get that, we have to understood what was the earlier belief, right? So there was an earlier belief about literary criticism. See, we all have views. If we read a book, a particular book, maybe we like it or we may not like it. So it depends on how we feel about that book, correct? So there are always critiques who say that yes, these are the false things which are given in that particular book or poetry or any work by the artist. So, or which could be done better, right? Earlier belief was that all the critics and poets, like majority of them, if we talk about many of them like Wordsworth or Coleridge, or even we talk about 20th century critics like Benedetto, all of them, they believed that if you want to judge a poem, okay, or if you want to judge the poet's performance, we must know about what he intended. So actually when poet was writing this poem, so he was having some intention, some designs planned, right? So in order to understand this poem, we have to understand what that poet intended. So intention must be understood in order to provide the feedback, maybe criticism. So that was earlier belief. Everybody was believing in it that um, we have to know about the intention of the artist if we are going through any of his work or her work. Now why it is so? Because they feel that we must evaluate the work of art by seeing whether the artist achieved his intention or not. So he or she would have some intentions while writing this. So if those intentions were met with the final work, that needs to be checked. So this was the earlier belief. Now there is a challenge in it. Like if you talk about, we want to claim, intentional fallacy is all about claiming that this fact is wrong, that intention should not be understood. This is intentional fallacy. But how? What is the background? That we need to understand. So if we talk about challenge, uh, this belief that intention must be understood of an artist by the critique or by the reader, This challenge, this school of thought has been challenged by the new critics. Okay, by the new critics, especially if we talk about Wimsatt and Beardsley. So, majority of the new critiques, they said no, this is the wrong fact, because let's say they are saying that artistic intentions of the creator are not relevant, neither they are available nor they are desirable. How can we understand someone's intention which are in his or her mind? We can't read minds, right? So if we cannot read minds, if we cannot understand the intention, then there is no point of providing the feedback based on intention, right? So this thought was challenged, uh, that when judging a work of art, artistic intentions should not be considered. Okay, this is what claimed by Wimsatt and Beardsley. Now, when we talk about the essay given by them or implications of this policy given by these two famous persons, Wimsatt and Beardsley, what they said is, first, if you talk about a poem, right? Poem does not come into existence by accident or by itself, right? What is a poem? Poem has words which are written by the poet, correct? That poet has written that poem, and now that means whatever intentions he or she was having, that has been brought into the poem, correct? And that can be considered the cause of the poem. Why he wrote this poem? Because he had some intentions. Now, but the intention, these intentions can't be the standard, right? These cannot be the standard of judging a poem, that whether intentions are being made, are being met or not, or if we are talking about whether poem is okay or not, whether we like it, whether it is written in the right format or not, we can't justify it with the help of intentions of the poet, because we will not be able to understand the intentions. How? So let's see some more implications. So if you talk about practical difficulties in understanding the intentions, so previously all the critiques were in the presumption that okay, intentions must be considered, right? But if we talk about the practical difficulties in the critique determining the poet's intention, can we say that intentions were met, or can we claim that this is something which poet tried to do? This is the final piece of work by the poet which he wanted to come upon or come with. So it cannot be claimed, right? Because the poem is the only evidence before us. Let's say if the poet succeeded in doing it, in achieving what he was trying to do, then the poem itself shows what he was trying to do. And if the poet did not succeed, then there is no point looking outside the poem, that for an intention, that this was the intention, and because intention was not met, so this poem is not worth it. So it is not an effective way of judging a poem, correct? So the critique should not go to other sources to find out what the writer wanted to say, because ultimately what writer or poet or author wanted to say, he has mentioned or she has mentioned that in poem or in any of the literature piece of work, correct? So how can you, it is very difficult practically to find out from other resources that that poet, maybe that person is not available, not present, and you are trying to analyze his intention or her intention not through the poem but outside or the linked literature which is given there. So this is pointless. Again, if you talk about why intentional theme is a fallacy, or we can say intentional fallacy is there, because if you talk about, we are judging the poem here, right? We are judging the work which is given here. So we have to give the importance to judgment, correct? Now if we are judging a poem, it's like judging something. Let's say there is a cook, okay? That cook is making a pudding. Now what a person who is about to eat this has to do with this pudding? He will not, the person who is about to eat this pudding or who is eating this pudding will not look at the intention, uh, or will not look at the design or mind map in the mind of the cook, that this was the pudding he imagined to make. It is, it is just this pudding through which we can judge, correct? So if we are talking about what kind of pudding he had in mind, it is irrelevant, right? To inquire into what kind of poem the author wanted to write. Because if you talk about poetry, what is poetry? It is the feat of style by which even a complex poem and poetry succeeds primarily. We can say that this poetry is superb, or we can say it is very good, because it excludes all the irrelevant matter or material. And in this respect, artistic creation differs from practical messages, which have just one meaning. So, what is poetry about? If, let's say, two or three people are reading one poetry, it is what they have different, it is all about their different criteria of understanding, because that poetry will provide different messages to everybody, right? Maybe someone is looking at that poetry at different angle. So if you talk about practicality, no, practical message will be different from artistic creation. Artistic creation and practical message both have diverse roots, okay? So that means if you talk about ordinary discourse, which is really present, that is very much different from the practical approach, correct? And if you talk about that you want to identify the intention, so you have to talk to that poet only, that what intention he or she was having at the time of that poetry. And even if you will ask that poet, that artist, because artist has creative mind, correct? Now what happens, let's say a poem has been made. At that time, artist was thinking something else. And if you tell that person to make another piece of artwork, then that will be different from its original work, because there is a lot of creativity there. Okay, so a poem can be about a state of mind, or we can say a personality, rather than a physical object. And this personality, or these thoughts and attitudes, being to the character which we see. So these are thoughts which are there in poet's mind, or author's mind, or the artist's mind. But what he is representing in terms of artistic creation is is that character which has been emerged out of that personality or that state of mind. Okay, so if you talk about another implication, so as I told you, even the previous work will be different from the new one. If an author may improve his or her work by revision, we can't say that he has achieved the intention better, because he has written a better poem or worse poem. In fact, his former intention was expressed in the earlier version, and what we are having right now in the new version or in the revised version is totally different from the earlier one. So, how can we look at someone's intention in order to judge a particular artwork? So, to summarize, this intentional fallacy is all about making or proving this fact wrong, that intention should be the basis of judgment or critique or criticizing any poem or artwork, because intention cannot be identified. Even that person who is having intention in writing some artwork, he can have different intentions all the time, when even the revised work will be there. Okay, so this is it. I hope you understand this, and if so, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Till my next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.